Guys, thank you very much for watching our full episodes on YouTube. We really appreciate it. We've noticed that a bunch of you are not subscribed to the channel who watch the videos, so it would really help us if you would subscribe. Helps us drive our numbers up, and also turn on notifications so you know when a new episode goes live.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hey everybody, Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis and he's Giulio, my co-host. How are you, dear friend?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm swell. Yeah.
I have a good update for everybody.
Please,
and for you.
Let's start with that.
So this morning, I went to look at apartments.
Coming out swinging.
With the GF for everybody. Assume, unless you just started listening to this podcast today, you're up to date on the fact that I was sort of like on the fence, very much on the fence the last time we talked about this. And I've thought about it a lot. I've talked to a lot of people. And I think we're going to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hey, our boy is all grown up. He's all grown up.
Dude, it's hilarious. People are like commenting on my pictures and like Oops pictures being like, commit to her. Commit to her. Like I'm just,
I don't think that it helped that we named an episode that. Now, here's the question. How much do you think that our conversation on the podcast contributed to forcing your hand or making up your mind or influencing you in any way?
I think it certainly influenced the decision. I don't know that it was like the like after that moment I knew immediately. Like I certainly started to think more and more about it, etc. But my mind was kind of heading in that direction, and I'm excited for this next step. And also, once if knock on wood, assuming that it happens, I will be excited to kind of discuss with our listeners my current living situation.
Yeah.
I feel like it's weird to talk about that kind of shit when you're like in it, but I'll be more than happy to kind of like share, because people ask all the time, and it just feels weird to like air that out. So anyway, we looked at our first apartment today. We have a couple months to figure it out. So, we're getting on top of it.
So what's your timeline?
I think April is looking like when we want to be doing it by. So we're probably looking earlier than we need to even.
No, it's fine. Start revving the engine, dude.
You got to, yeah. And fortunately she's very on top of it, which has been great. Like are you good at spatial arrangement? Like,
no,
I'm really, really not equipped to do it. So I'm really happy that I have someone like her who sort of knows how to like make something suitable for a group of people. Her goal, I think, and our goal is to like have a place suitable for like having our friends over.
Yeah.
Big enough space where we can have like a dinner and this and that, blah, 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 blah. So our criteria is sort of falling into place, and certainly listening to you kind of go through it was a helpful kind of framework of what to expect. And it's exciting.
It's an amazing thing to watch a young woman visualize space. Because that's not a skill that you've ever seen her flex, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. I have an idea that she is competent, but I've never actually seen her in action.
Right. You've mentioned that you love her bedroom, that it's peaceful for you and it's well arranged, and now but she's never had a full blank canvas from which to work. Right? She's only ever had roommates, and so that is all about compromise and blending ideas together. Whereas now you will have absolutely no say in how the apartment is decorated. You will defer completely to her,
which
and
I want.
It will turn into a magical geometric wonderland of symmetry and angles and shapes. These things that we don't even know. Words we've never heard will come out of her mouth.
Dude, I've signed over my fucking rights already.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. You all of a sudden realize that you're dating an interior decorator. And I don't mean to sound sexist. It truly is a skill. Women just have a way better sense of that than we do.
Yeah, they do.
We're stupid.
Yeah,
we're stupid when it comes to like, what do we put in here?
Totally. We don't got it.
I have a friend who decorates his apartment with things that he finds on the street.
How does it look?
Fine to me.
Right.
Fine by my eye. He is somebody who has lamps that he's just seen people, he'll walk by something in New York that says, "Take me, I work." And he takes it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But my girlfriend would be like, that doesn't work because it's at odds with the circular coffee table, which conflicts with the bookshelf or whatever.
Totally. I mean, dude, it's really reassuring because for a variety of reasons. Like, a friend of mine is like, he's a developer commercially, but also personally, like on the side, he develops his own shit. And he just finished renovating this house. And I saw it when they bought it, and it was like a kind of a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. But he's like, just wait till it's done. It's going to be good. And I was like, okay. And I saw the finished product, and it fucking blew me away, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it was so sick. And I'm like, God damn it. I wish that I had that in me. And then I just remembered that, like, my girlfriend can do it.
I have a strong suspicion that the majority of girlfriends would succeed with their own shows on, like, HGTV.
Right. I mean, it sounds about right.
You know those home makeover shows?
Yeah, dude. I've been watching one with her. It's called I don't forget the name of the show, but the couple are the McGee's. Do you know? It's like design, interior. I don't know. It's on Netflix. They may or may not be Mormons. These people who live in Utah, but like they have this design thing, and like it's interesting, dude. I can like sort of get into it too. Like,
it's cool, and I will say that once you've watched it happen, you start to pick up on a couple of rules, and you think, oh, I can't believe I never knew that, or that I didn't realize that myself.
It's exciting, dude.
Little things, right? Like hanging pictures at eye level.
Dude.
That's a rule.
I just learned that.
See what I mean?
I just learned that 5 seconds ago.
You're supposed to hang. That's what I'm saying.
I was today years old when I learned that.
Yeah.
As they say.
You're supposed to hang pictures and artwork at eye level. Not only that, you're supposed to have either the top of all the frames at the same height or the bottom of the frames at the same height, right?
Yes, I guess. I don't know.
That's true.
Okay, sounds right to me.
And then you're supposed to have some kind of uniformity of lines, right? And then what else do I know?
Speaking of paintings, shout out to D Helms, one of our followers, who painted a fucking picture of us.
Did she?
I have to bring it over and show you still. But
okay.
Yeah, so thanks for that.
Oh, cool.
Accepting.
She sent you the artwork?
Yeah, she mailed it to us.
Didn't send it to me, huh?
Well, I was her point guy, apparently.
I see.
I don't know. Regardless, it's of me and you, and it looks cool. So,
wish I had
Chris, what do you got?
The show is called Dream Home Makeover.
Dream Home Makeover, yes.
Yeah.
And to clarify, it's for us. It's not for me.
Well, how are we supposed to share it?
We have to decide where we're gonna put it.
Maybe we'll put it in here.
Maybe we can put it in here.
The pod stew.
In the stew. So,
that's great. All right, so I have a question for you.
Please.
Let's shift. I do want to come back to that, but I have a really quick question for you.
Sure.
Is it ever okay to call bullshit on someone when they play the family emergency card?
Oh, wow. Oh, dude, my uncle, like the family.
Dude, not uncle.
Direct family?
Nope. They just say, I'm sorry I can't make it. I had a family emergency. And that is the word that they use. That's the term.
I got to be honest, man. If it's like your friend, I would expect them to go into a little more detail.
That's exactly right.
Because you're friends. You know their family.
Yes.
So if you're like, oh, my cousin John is fucking, his nuts fell off or whatever. Like if whatever happened to him, like about John. You're like, oh my God, John, like he's such a nice guy. Mm-hmm. So continue.
No, that's exactly right. That a friend will provide more information. They won't say, I have a family emergency.
It's what you say to your boss.
They'll say, that's right.
Yeah.
And you say it to your boss. Why?
Because it's weird to let him know about your personal
Because
life?
you're lying. Because you're lying.
Maybe. Yeah.
Now, I will admit that in my life, younger years, I may have used a version of the family emergency card to get out of a homework assignment or to get an extension on
Of
a
course.
paper or to explain why
Innocent enough.
I was too hungover to get to class or something like that. That stopped in college because I started believing in karma. And I started thinking that if you play that card one day, you are basically, asking God to give your family a real emergency.
Right.
Either that, or you will have played it enough times that the next time you have a real family emergency, nobody will believe you because you were the boy who cried family emergency.
Correct. You don't want to be that boy.
So
It's a bad boy.
it's a bad boy. That's a bad boy.
It's a bad boy.
That's way worse than the boy who cried wolf.
Bad boy.
I mean, wolves?
Yeah, dude. Fuck wolves.
Come on. Anyway, the point is,
Bad boy.
family emergency. I've been getting a lot of people who are canceling plans with me lately,
Because of family emergencies?
and that's all they say. And they're not friends.
Interesting.
They're loose acquaintances, people that were supposed to come over and help me fix something with the apartment, or handymen, whatever it may be, right? And they always seem to say the family emergency thing when they need to get out of an obligation.
Right.
Nobody has ever cited a family emergency because they couldn't make it to my bachelor party in Vegas. It's never a fun event that they're skipping out of.
Right. It's like okay. Dude, yeah, you have to call bullshit.
When
on that.
you hear someone say, yo, I couldn't make it, I had a family emergency, do you immediately doubt the veracity of that?
Yeah, of course. And I can't pinpoint when the last time that happened was. It certainly happened, but I absolutely wonder. And then I start being like, this is sort of not productive to think about this, and I try to just let it go and move on. But
Earlier this year, you had a funeral,
I did.
and you told me that you had a funeral.
Did I specify?
I think so.
Okay.
And that's what you do. You're honest. You say
Right.
what really is going on. Admittedly, even if you had told me you had a family emergency, I would have believed you because
Right.
it's you and me.
Mhm.
But I've also noticed that would you ever ask for clarification?
This is the thing, dude. Dude, I don't think I can make it. I have a funeral. Then you say, "Oh my god, dude, I'm so sorry." Who? Like, we're friends, right? Like, I'm concerned about you.
I believe funeral.
Of course,
I'm just
but I'm
talking
saying the
about-
clarification comes from genuine concern and compassion.
Yes.
Therefore, it opens a forum of clarification if you choose to give it, and you're never going to be like, "Oh, I have a family emergency." I'm like, "Oh my god, is everything okay?" And I say, "Yes, family emergency."
Yeah.
You know,
But the reason that people use family emergency is to buy themselves time to come up with a better lie.
right. To go break their fucking brother's leg.
Yeah, to come up with something that, like, is a suitable problem if they have to come up with it. And then something that inevitably, if you ask a follow-up, like, how did that turn out? They're like, fortunately, they pulled through. Or
Right.
they say, it turned out to not be as bad as we had thought.
Right. And that is how you know it's a lie, probably.
Yeah.
It's so vague,
Because
favorable outcome.
Exactly. It goes away.
Yeah.
And the other part is that the reason people say family emergency is because it's the vague reason that does not invite a lot of follow-up questions. Because most
Right.
people are too aware of the social contract of you don't pry, you don't
Yes.
you don't want to probe about something personal like that. The reason they're telling me just family emergency and leaving it that is because they don't want to talk about it further.
Right.
So most people say it as a way of knowing, I think, if I just say this, I'm not going to get any follow-up questions.
Right. Dude,
It's the
makes
ultimate,
sense.
like, I don't want to do the thing that I've committed to, but I don't want to come up with a reason for why I don't want to do it.
Right.
Now, I'm sure that there are instances where somebody uses the family emergency card and they've actually got a family emergency.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had someone say that to you and then you asked, they missed your event or whatever, and then a couple days later you were like, hey, I hope everything's okay. Everything okay with your family emergency? And then they said, like, actually, what actually I thought was a family emergency turned out to be a family catastrophe.
Never.
And everybody I know and am related to is now gone.
No, never. Never.
It never gets worse.
Dude,
do you know what I'm saying?
It's a classic way to like get out of a Tinder date.
Sure.
You know, like
sure.
last second. Hey,
exactly.
Like
It's a Tinder date excuse.
I had a family emergency. You can't check a Tinder date on that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like then they have an excuse to never talk to you, which they're already trying to do.
Bingo.
You're digging your own grave again.
Dude, I've had back in the dating days, yes, plenty of people canceled on me due to family emergencies. I don't know about plenty, but at least one.
Yeah.
And that's first of all, what is a family emergency? Is it death a family emergency?
It could also be like, my mom got stuck at work and my little sister doesn't
Needs
have
to
a
be picked
pickup.
up from school.
Yeah, like some shit like that.
That's fine. Yes.
That's not really a family emergency.
You
though, is it?
wouldn't say family emergency for that,
Yeah.
would you?
Yeah.
You would say like, hey,
Dude,
I have to
sorry,
cover.
I have to pick up my
it's not a
fucking
big deal.
little sister. Yeah.
But nobody's going to be mad at you for having
You're
to
right.
do that.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
So what qualifies as a family emergency?
Injuries. Unexpected injuries.
Injuries are family emergencies. Someone needs to go to the hospital, right?
Or even like, finding out Madoff lost all your savings.
Bingo.
That would be
Financial crimes.
That's a family emergency.
Financial crimes. Sure.
Financial crimes.
I buy that.
Injuries,
I buy
financial
that.
crimes.
Yeah.
What else? Disease, sickness. Like,
it's disease
unfortunately,
and sickness. Yeah.
like the quick kind of like escalation of COVID symptoms would certainly qualify in this day and age.
Fine. I buy all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Findings. It's illness and disease, right? But here's the thing, right? Even a death in the family, right? Let's say that it's an immediate family member.
Right.
That's
it's not necessarily an emergency because they're already dead. No offense.
And you might exactly
A death in the family, you would say then.
You might say we've had a death in the family.
We've had a death in the family.
And if you don't want to get personal, frankly, if there's a death in your immediate family, you might not even feel that you have to give an excuse.
Of course.
Because that's so tragic and dramatic
Absolutely.
that you can explain after the fact and no one's going to hold you accountable. They're not going to be mad that you missed something.
Dude, it's the only time that it's okay not to respond to a text.
Totally.
Is if somebody died. And if
Totally.
they're like, I'm so sorry for your loss, you're not socially obligated to reply to that.
You're off the hook immediately.
Yes.
Everyone forgives, of course.
Yep.
But think about this. Outside the immediate family, let's say that a cousin or an uncle passes away,
Mhm.
right? Would you call family emergency on that?
It depends. Like I have uncles that I'm really close to, and that would constitute a family emergency for me. Like I have uncles that if they call me, they're like, hey, I'm having an emergency, I would drop everything.
Yeah.
But again, it depends what level, because there's obviously uncles that I don't talk to as much where it would be less of a pressing thing, or I'd expect other people to be available to deal with it before me, type of thing,
I think that that's totally fair. But I also think that, yes, death is such a tricky one because I don't think most people would say family emergency for death.
You don't say emergency for death.
But I'm telling you, family emergency is the ubiquitous term. It's the one that you hear all the time.
Yeah.
It's the blanket statement that gets everyone out of the obligation that they have.
Another family emergency could be like, if your brother is an addict and he stole all your mom's jewelry
Totally
and
fair.
you've noticed the jewelry's gone.
Yeah.
That's a family emergency.
Totally fair.
I
I would almost put that under the sickness column, though.
Okay.
Addiction,
fair. Yeah, okay, fair. So
Um,
we have 3 good umbrellas right now: financial crimes,
Yep.
injury, and disease.
Yes.
Is there any more? If there's anything we're forgetting or anything anybody thinks they can add to this, please share with us. We'd be interested to hear what you got.
I also would love to know if anyone listening has ever found out that someone was lying about the family emergency and what they did to either call them on it or how you resolved that.
So, dude, it's funny that we're talking about this because I was called out earlier this year, and I thought it was really funny, and I still think it's really funny to this day. So, one of my buddies was getting married in November. Now, I definitely had a conflict on that weekend. It was a wedding that I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to or not yet, but it was like Hillary's family. Like I was sort of locked in for this weekend already. But my buddy sends out like save the dates, and I immediately text him, hey, I can't make it. And he calls me that night. He's like, oh, you can't make it, huh? He's like, you already know that like 8 months from now you got something going on, huh? He like fully called me on it. and it was pretty hilarious. Like, I was very impressed because, like, he, you know, it was definitely aggressive of me to do it that way, I guess. I learned my lesson. And, like, you know, if he reschedules it, I'm planning to go if I'm still invited, which I may not be anymore. Deservedly. But I thought that was funny. I think, like, there is room to, like, make that a funny situation as opposed to just, like, ignoring and hating the person forever.
It's funny. We've talked about weddings before. My friend Doug told me that he makes a point to go to as many weddings as he can. And he said that's because his parents told him once that they still to this day remember every single person that came to their wedding.
Wow.
That it meant something to them.
That's interesting.
And whereas I had always kind of subscribed to the school of thought that wedding couples welcome people saying they can't make it. Because right off the bat, that's like $500 less that they have to spend. Or
or however much.
Whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Weddings are so expensive. You want cancellations.
So this is the thing. There comes a time, and for us, there's a few things at play here. First of all, you know, we're in an age range where there's a lot of weddings happening. So, you know, you can only go to so many, unfortunately. Like, you can maybe try to go to all of them. There's certainly going to be some overlap or you're going to have to, like, pick and, like, this and that, whatever. But we also, dude, like, when times are normal, and, like, I forget about this fact because it's now and it's the COVID era. But, like, before this, like, the weekends, we theoretically could be very busy. And to, like, block off 10 weekends a year could, like, really impact one's bottom line.
Big time.
And, like, it's unfortunate, but it's like, just because our schedules are different, you know, like, people hopefully should be able to understand, but they don't.
No.
People don't understand.
Nobody takes our job seriously.
Nobody takes our job seriously.
Everyone thinks we are clowns.
Yeah, it's true. They're like, oh, man, no, nice comedy. What else do you do?
Yes.
What do you do on the side?
And
like,
yeah, exactly. And the reality is that not only losing those weekends is expensive, but you go to a wedding, right? You're talking about multiple thousands of dollars of swing at that point. Because if we were going to be making $1,000 or $2,000 for a weekend of comedy on the road, instead of making that, you then also spend a couple $1,000s to go to the wedding.
There's a big swing.
That's a huge.
It's a shitty swing.
Shitty situation.
But I'll say this, man, as I've gotten a little bit older, I've started to embrace the idea of how fun a wedding weekend can be. It's just like a really well curated few nights with a bunch of cool people, usually like people that you know in theory, and it could be at somewhere beautiful and you get to see different parts of the country, the world even. So there's things about it that can be really sick. But at the same token, like there was definitely a time in my life where I just couldn't afford to go to all of them.
Yeah.
And I probably still can't, as far as like you're saying, like opportunity cost of like having to miss things that I have booked out. You know what I mean?
I got invited to a wedding in New York City in September.
It's great.
And I texted the groom and I said, thank you. I love you. What a wonderfully selfless thing to do.
That you've done.
What a wonderfully selfless thing.
Dude, that's really cool.
To plan your wedding. He goes, we just wanted it to be easy for people.
Awesome.
And I was like, you are the fucking man.
That's awesome.
We get to sleep at home the night of the wedding.
Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing.
You know how happy I'm gonna be for those people?
Dude, that is the opposite of a black tie wedding in Paris. The person with the black tie wedding in Paris needs to go fuck themselves.
Dude, Paris, try some island.
Yeah, seriously.
You're talking at least 2 flights plus a boat. You know,
I get
destination weddings in the Greek islands.
Destination black tie, fuck you.
Oh,
that's really a tough pill to swallow.
God.
Literally, I hope you provide my fucking tuxedo there for me.
Yeah.
I have to bring my tuxedo with me. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That is correct.
Complete bullshit.
I will say that most people who had destination weddings have sort of brought them a little bit closer to home in the rescheduling of all the weddings I've seen.
That's cool. That's good.
Yeah. It's all right.
So we got an email and it was a story about somebody who like was wasted and like had sex in public. And like apparently the bartender saw them come out of the bathroom when they were caught, whatever. It was nothing that crazy happened, but it made me think, like, is there in your mind a sort of playbook to get away with fucking in public if you get caught?
Okay, well, hold on.
Now, not necessarily caught in the act of penetration, caught coming out of wherever you are with another person when you shouldn't have both been in there. For example, being in a bathroom together.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the bathroom the bathroom's a good example. If you're in a bathroom together in a stall with somebody else, whether it's a unisex bathroom or not, or if it's, say it's not a unisex bathroom, say it's the women's bathroom or the men's bathroom, do you think there's a way to get out of that?
I think that you get to a certain age where you just don't care
about getting caught.
What are they going to do? What happens? Has the bartender ever taken the time to phone it in and get the police and hold the couple and then arrest them for
hopefully not
public indecency or something?
But say you're at like a restaurant and it's an afternoon or something. Say it's a place where it's a little more.
I haven't been that horny in decades.
Say it's a little more gauche. Like in a situation where say it's a nice restaurant, or say it's like Soho House.
Okay.
Or like, so, a place that's like, whatever. Do you think there's a way to avoid embarrassment and shame that you can think of? And granted, I get your point. Maybe you just shouldn't give a fuck.
I think you kind of lean into it. I don't know if I have another answer. It sounds like you do, and I want to hear it. But my thought is if you have the gall to go have sex, to like leave the group and then go into a stall where realistically there's only one position happening,
Yeah.
And
the bend over, hands against the tiles.
Your pants are at your legs. You can't spread your feet that wide to get a good base. You're probably not getting off unless it's been a long time. I don't know. That in my mind, you've basically said I'm an animal. And you come out of the thing and you're like, yeah, I'm an animal. What do you want me to say? There's no dignified way to excuse that behavior.
I mean, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
All right. So what's your thought?
So, but for example, say you're at it's a unisex bathroom, one person at a time. You're up there banging it out and you hear a knock on the door. You're obviously embarrassed to come out together in that situation. If you can like come out and be like, they're not going to think you're doing blow at 2 p.m. probably. They think you're banging each other, or who knows what they think. But like, this is what I think the move is.
Okay.
I think that what you do is you open the door as the guy in the situation and you peek your head out and you go, I'm sorry, she's not feeling that well.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly.
We'll be out in a sec. Just give us a sec. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
And then close the door. Do what you gotta do.
Stick a finger down her throat and she throws up, makes her face red.
Cue vomit noises.
Runs, you complete the ruse. Here, quick, throw up on cue. What? We can't have them know we were having sex.
Dude, I'll say this. I think I've mentioned this before, but it just stuck with me. This guy that I know and his girlfriend, and this guy's like not that cool of a guy. He went to the bathroom with his girlfriend at like an apartment party, like a shitty apartment. And he came out of the bathroom and he came over to me. He's like, dude, I just banged my girlfriend in the bathroom. And I was like, this guy's awesome, dude.
You didn't even know the guy?
I like sort of know him. I don't know him that well. And I was like, what a fucking, this guy's the man, dude.
That concept seems a million years away to me. To be so overcome by your, urges that you have to find, you can't even make it home. Presumably you're not that far from home. Wherever you are, you're either not that far from home or the hotel you're staying in, right?
Yeah.
You're an Uber ride.
Theoretically.
And you can't even, it feels like a college move.
Totally. But this is
what
what
high school move.
This is what I'll say to our listeners. Next time you want to spice it up a little bit, you're at some lunch with, maybe with your in-laws, you're at lunch or whoever you're with. Send your fucking girlfriend a text being like, I'm so horny for you right now. I want you. Yeah. And then she stares down at your pants and she sees your fucking 60% chub that she can just barely see through the pants.
That's right.
Take her in the bathroom and fucking, make a lady out of her.
There you go.
And I think it's a good way to spice up the fucking relationship.
That is.
It's fun.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
How come?
I just don't know. There's something about the bathroom at this point, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll give it a whirl. We'll see.
Love it.
Really good. That's a good segment you did there. It's a good thing to ponder.
I hope you liked it, dude. Question for you.
Talk to me.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, who are like my man crushes? Like, who do I fucking just, I'm like, that guy's fucking awesome. Like, I want to be that guy for a little. Like, do you have an answer? Do you ever think about this? Is there a guy where you're like, that guy's fucking dope? Like, I wish I was like him. And not even just, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I will say there's no total package.
That's fair.
Guy for me.
You have like a Voltron situation.
Yeah, I would pick and choose.
Yes.
I would create an amalgamation character out of the different people. Yes. There's your vocab word, amalgamation.
There we go.
Of various men, and I would take different qualities from each one. And I know that's a bit of a workaround, but
I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all.
There are definitely people where like I think to myself, boy, I wish I had his cool, or I wish I had that guy's style, or I wish I had that guy's body, or his height, or, whatever it might be.
Anybody stand out?
The first guy that comes to mind is our buddy Armand. And I don't know if he's listening to this, but Armand is our dear friend. If you're a fan of the show Summer House, he was featured a little bit, I think, on season 1 or 2.
Who was he dating somebody?
He dated Hannah.
Oh, that's right.
He dated Hannah Berner, and
fucking Armand
in the show.
the
So yeah, this guy, I mean, he is one of my favorite people on earth, and I corresponded with him frequently. But unfortunately, we just never seem to like we never get together. We always talk about it, and so I wish he's someone I really wish that I spent more time with, because I know that all it would take would be like 2 hangs. And we would be in each other's weddings. He would bump somebody for me. You know what I mean?
This could be a good New Year's resolution. Yeah. Spend more time with Armand.
I really like him. I think he's a really cool dude. What about you?
I mean, I was thinking, obviously, since I was thinking about this, I jotted down a little list. But dude, I'm like basic. Mine are like very obvious ones. Like you could probably guess them.
Are they people in your life? Or are they
like celebrities?
Celebrities? Well, come on. I don't think that's really fair.
Well, what do you mean? Why is it not fair?
Because everybody would love to be The Rock, or everyone wants to hang out with The Rock.
So, but this is a good
Matthew
point.
McConaughey.
It was not about. So there's a difference. There's a difference between wanting to hang out with and like being a man crush. Like a guy you like, oh man, that guy's awesome. I want to be him. As opposed to like, oh, that guy's dope. I want to be friends with him.
Now I feel ridiculous for giving a real person. It is so real. It's so adjacent. The Rock is never going to hear this.
But also, dude, this you prove a point. Like, to me, The Rock, I have no interest in like.
Yeah, nor do I.
Being The Rock. The Rock's cool, obviously.
He's too much. He's too much of an industry himself.
Yeah, he's like a human PR stunt.
He's a human.
Human statement.
Workers factory.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
awesome.
How many people are employed on his behalf?
Totally.
You know how many people's jobs rely on him continuing to keep his shit together, continuing to eat 20,000 calories a day?
Dude, that's crazy.
So that the Fast franchise can roll out another 5 movies. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway.
His workout routine must be crazy.
It's nuts. What are your, and also so likable. All it would take would be for him to wake up on the wrong side of bed one day, run into a fan with a camera, and be like, listen, man, I don't want to talk right now. And the guy's like, no, let me get a picture. And he's like, fuck off. And then all of a sudden.
It's over.
It's over for The Rock. He has to pitch a perfect game of being kind.
It's crazy, man.
Okay.
That shit must get to you.
It does, I would think.
Okay, my people, dude, mine are really obvious. If you want to take a guess, you feel free. I'll give you a couple so that this doesn't get mundane.
Your man crushes.
My man crushes. Chris already knows one of them.
Well, one of the my first guess would be like Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, he didn't come to mind. That is a good guess though.
Okay. What about Thor, the guy who plays Thor?
No.
Well, I'm just naming really hot dudes.
Yeah, no, fair enough. You're close, dude. Like, there's no Chris. What do you got?
Federer.
There's one.
Yeah. Okay.
And for reasons like longevity and also like the idea of peaking later in life, like Federer is much hotter than he was when he was like 20.
Yes.
He's gotten hot.
By the way, can I pause you for 1 second?
Please.
So I was hanging out with Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis, our buddies who have done the podcast, on Saturday. And like late Saturday night, I ran over to Andrew's podcast studio to watch a little bit of the McGregor fight, and then I came right back.
Awesome.
And the moment I walked in the door, Andrew and Shane pulled me aside and they sat me down and they said, listen, we've discovered something about you. And I said, what's up? Oh my God.
Jesus.
They pulled up old photos of me. They pulled up my gocrimson.com athlete profile.
Wow. Like you
from
holding a
Harvard.
stick?
No, we're like in a coat and tie.
Got
and
it.
then it's your stats and your bio. And the picture is not particularly flattering. But part of the reason for that is that up until I was about 25 years old, I abided by the belief that women would be more attracted to me if they thought I didn't care about my personal appearance.
Interesting.
And that, because that part of that was where I came from.
Oh,
My
yes.
high school,
Yes.
the girls
The disheveled look.
they rewarded the guys who didn't care.
The hacky sack guy.
Yeah. The burnouts.
The burnout
stoners who didn't give a fuck.
Right.
And not the clean cut sort of.
You had to pretend you were failing math to get laid.
Yeah. Yeah, the guys who wore pajamas to school.
Dude, this one guy was like number 4 in the class, and he was also still really cool, and he like got called out for it. Like,
Called
you
out for what?
loser, you're number 4. You're number 4 in the class.
Yeah, but the people who the reality is the people who called that guy out are now not doing well.
Likely.
You know what I mean? But the point is that those two guys, Shane and they accused me of dyeing my hair.
Dude, that sucks. Like you go to hang out and immediately you're just getting called out for shit.
It was hilarious.
That is funny though.
It was hilarious, and I can take it from those two guys because they're both better comedians than I am. So it's fine, you know. But they were very convinced that there's no way that, like, they thought I'd had work done and all this. I mean, they were fucking with me. But the point is, they were like, "You've had a huge glow up." That's what they said to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Huge glow up. Well, it's weird too because I didn't realize how ugly I used to be.
Dude, I don't think you used to be ugly.
All right, whatever. I didn't
That's
figure
funny.
out
Okay.
how to wear my hair. I didn't wear the right clothes. I didn't care, right?
Okay.
Or maybe I cared, but I just cared about the wrong thing.
You just couldn't execute.
Yeah.
You've learned how to
But
execute.
when you're younger, you know, earlier pictures of your life, like your skin's not great, you know, whatever may be happening, who knows?
Mhm.
But all of this is to say that you mentioned Roger Federer having a glow up, and
Yes.
it's like, well, you know, do we think that has the dignified 40-year-old man become the model of attractiveness?
I don't know. I mean,
more than the boyish boy band
Right.
18, 20-year-old guy of yesteryear.
so I think there's always been a place for that guy. That
Yeah.
guy has always had a place. You know, the James Bond situation.
Yeah.
You know, there's a place for that guy. Also, I mean, Federer, he also, let's not forget, there's other things about him that make him the man. I mean, how graceful his fucking tennis game is.
Yeah, he's worth $1 billion.
He's worth $1 billion plus dollars.
Yeah.
And bro, he put 2 sets of fucking twins in his wife. And this is organically, bro. It wasn't even like in vitro or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
He put 2 pairs of twins in her.
Is that a big deal?
Yes. That's crazy, dude. The guy has the fucking demon semen.
Yeah, but once you're
He's a fucking legend.
Once you have one, they say that once you have one set of twins, you're more likely to have twins. People who
Really?
have twins are more likely to have
But they're
twins.
both identical. So like that means that there was like no foul play apparently. If you just have 2 sets of identical twins, it's like a more impressive feat apparently.
Really?
From what I've heard. I don't know. But dude,
what would be foul play with twins?
like if you're doing some kind of like artificial insemination situation.
Yeah, but I think we got to be careful because, you know, I would say that's hardly foul play.
Not foul play, but quote unquote foul play in the sense that like you're just not doing it au natural.
Okay.
You're trying to, you know, you're having trouble and you need to kind of put the odds in your favor, which
I see what you mean.
should be doing. You know, I'm not saying there's
Interesting.
anything wrong with that.
You know, a lot of families, I think, that have, when you hear about families that have 10 to 12 children, something
Yeah.
crazy like that.
I know what family who has
There
that.
are usually like at least one, if not 2 sets of twins in those.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true in the case of the people that I know too.
Cool.
Okay, so quickly I'm going to run down my list of man crushes.
Yeah, please.
Tom Brady, it's an obvious one.
Yeah.
He's the fucking man. Excited to watch. You know, he's got me interested in football again.
I need to pause you on Tom Brady because I have a thought about this.
Please.
So did you see the clip after they won the game against the Packers where he went over to the sideline and said hello to his son?
I didn't catch that part.
He had to tell the security guard, "Do you mind if I say hi to my son?" Because the security guard was holding his son back from running down to see him.
Oh.
And here's the thing. Tom Brady is so old that his kid, not all of them, but his oldest son, is like a young man now.
That's hilarious. It's like LeBron.
He's a teenager. It's weird because I don't even qualify LeBron, like Bronny James. And part of that is that I only ever see Bronny James in basketball highlights himself.
Oh, interesting.
But to see Tom Brady's son be now, I relate more to his 13-year-old son than I do to Tom Brady.
Oh, that's crazy.
Which then makes me feel that I don't know how I ever admired my own father. Because by comparison, imagine that you were a 13, 15, 17-year-old boy and your dad was still playing in the Super Bowl.
It's crazy. It's unprecedented.
And I'm joking when I say that about my dad. I totally admire my dad. I love my dad. But I felt for a minute like, oh my God, this kid's going to he had to do his geometry homework early today so that he could go to the NFC championship game, or maybe it's the AFC championship
game. It was NFC, right?
Yeah. To watch his dad play, and then now he's going to compete for his 10th Super Bowl.
Crazy, dude.
This is not a normal family.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
All right.
It's going to be great.
More man crushes.
Quickly go through the last three. Travis Scott, Bad Bunny, Future.
Good God, those are left turns from
Dude,
Tom Brady.
This is a well-rounded group.
Roger Federer.
There's like longevity, grace, class. That's like the thing that turns me on about those guys. Whereas the thing that turns me on about like a Travis Scott, I think he has great style. I love the way he like just carries himself, dude. I think the guy's like, he's the fucking man. I'm like, oh God.
He's become a bit of an icon.
He's fucking hot, dude. I'm literally wearing a Travis Scott shirt right now.
Interesting.
Which, also on brand for me.
I don't understand the appeal of Travis Scott. I don't know it.
Yeah.
I don't know enough of his music. I've tried it. And it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude,
Is it the music or
You're
is it
wrong.
everything else?
It's the whole package. The music's also great. But he's just the fucking man, dude. You're like, he's always like looking down in pictures. Like, how do you think of that?
What do you mean?
How do you think of that?
What do you mean? What do you mean looking down?
He doesn't look at the camera, bro. He looks down in almost every picture. Like, you'll catch a picture of him not looking down sometimes, but when he poses, he looks down. Chris, it's true, right? It's sick. That's just sick to me.
Well, because a lot of girls in pictures will often look not at the camera either.
They have their angle, but this shit's different, bro. He straight up just looks at the floor and like you can't even see his face.
He doesn't understand how to have photos taken of
Dude,
him.
it seems like a deliberate choice, but you're making a funny point. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
What do you think he's afraid of in the camera?
I think he just
Does he not want the flash to sear his eyeballs?
I think it's just his way of like standing out, maybe. You got to breeze through some of his photos.
Stupid. That's stupid. I don't like it.
So we don't need to harp on this for too long. We're talking too much about man crush. It's starting to get weird. Bad Bunny is really, I like the whole way he does the andro thing. And I also respect a guy who's so good at making music that he's so undeniable that he can literally dress up fully in drag, especially when you come from like Latin society that's known for being like patriarchal and like homophobic, and like still everybody's bumping your music. That's sick to me. Like, that guy's the man.
I think once you've achieved a level of success, you're given much more runway to experiment with fashion choices or whatever it may be.
Androgyny.
Yeah, exactly. You look at Harry Styles, Dennis Rodman,
totally.
David Bowie, all
Prince.
these people. It's like, well, they've established themselves as such, men that are sought after and all this, and men want to be them. That now they're like, they push the boundaries, whatever.
You love it. You just gotta love it, dude. Awesome.
Who was the last guy? Bad Bunny, and then who?
Future.
Yeah, Future's cool.
He's just cool and hot, dude.
I like Future. Well, I think his music's really good.
He's so solid, dude. It's so funny. I'll be sitting telling my girlfriend shit about hip hop. I'm like, yo, this guy drops an album, it's automatically fire. You have no idea. It's like so sick. And she's just kind of like, cool, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
The first time we ever heard the huge hit that he's had this year, the biggest song of the year.
Life is Good? That one?
Ooh, na.
Oh, that's The Weeknd.
Oh, fuck. I get Future and The Weeknd mixed up.
That's a good song, though. I can't sleep until
You know why I
feel
get them mixed up?
your
You know why I
touch.
get those two mixed up? because they're always things that I am looking forward to. The future is in the future, and the weekend, it's like, here, we're almost at the weekend. You don't refer to the like past weekends. You're like,
Dude,
I can't wait for the weekend.
They're both guys with names of things you're looking forward to.
That's what it is.
That is really fucking funny.
That's why.
That is really,
I almost think they're synonyms.
It's the future and the weekend.
The future and the weekend. The weekend's always in the future. Can't wait for the weekend.
Dude, that is really great. I encourage anybody out there who's familiar with some of Future's bigger songs to go back and listen to his like ballad songs. They're so hard. It's like crazy how hard they are. Check out the song Hardly. Check out the song 56 Nights. Codeine Crazy is a fucking classic. Check some of these songs out. They go really hard.
It's also amazing to me, by the way, that the two of you are so in sync on this stuff. And I don't know that our audience, I wonder what percentage of our audience is like, yeah, I'm going to go listen to this hard music.
Dude, so I honestly think that you'd be surprised. Like I do get messages about that kind of stuff.
Well, for sure.
And the same way that I bet, it's nice that like we can offer different things. Like people are always like, ask Francis to tell us more book recommendations.
Sure.
They're never like, what are your book recommendations? They know that I don't have any. And I'm not embarrassed about that. Like it's not like I don't read. I just like don't have book recommendations. You know what I mean? I'm not like reading as much as Francis does. So, whatever. Do you have any, by the way?
Well, I'm reading
thought?
Obama's memoir right now, A Promised Land. I don't know that I would recommend it. This is the first time that I've said that. And I was telling you this before the episode started. It's, first of all, it's 700 pages. That shouldn't deter people. Harry Potter books were longer than that, and whatever. But it's there are so many pieces of it that I find very interesting that but then a lot that I don't. So like certain issues that he had to deal with, like the run up to being elected. That's amazing. How he balanced his family life, what it was like when the kids moved into the White House. Stuff like that is really cool.
Yeah.
Experiencing an American family like moving into the White House from a small apartment in Chicago. Like that's awesome.
That's what happened?
That's what happened.
It was a small apartment in Chicago.
Oh, it was like a
normal
a
apartment.
decent, like a 2-3 bedroom, whatever, in Chicago.
Right.
In a house, like a whatever little apartment. And then all of a sudden to be living in the fucking White House.
That's wild.
To be going from, commercial air travel, coach.
Wild.
To Air Force One.
Wild.
To, have all your meals, your whole day. He couldn't enter a building through the main entrance. All of a sudden you're going through service entrances and back corridors, and everything you do has to be accounted for.
You're just trying to fool people all day long.
Yeah.
You're trying to go at the unexpected entrance. That has to be beat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool though.
And I think that hearing that, and he also said that the president has to, all your grocery bills you pay for yourself, which I don't understand how that's
fresh
true.
Direct to the White House.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
You're like, this isn't included? I only make $175K a year or whatever.
Well, that's it. I think they make $400. I think the salary went up a lot, and I think Clinton actually advocated for that. But
seems fair.
It does. It does. Our president should be paid multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, not whatever. People say it's like it's public service, and the reality is any president after their presidency is going to make millions of dollars on book deals and speaking arrangements and all that.
Can you imagine that? You're like, Joe, can I borrow $20?
Yeah.
The president doesn't have money.
Exactly. But it was crazy to me. It was like, really? They really have to pay for their own fucking groceries? Like, what does that even mean? Because I know they have chefs.
Right.
So they're buying the ingredients that the chefs are using. I didn't understand that. Maybe whatever.
Dude, can you imagine that? You're like asking Michelle what this charge is on the credit card. Did you spend $200 at Sephora? I don't know.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff, but then there's a lot of haggling with Congress over getting bills passed, and especially if it's legislation that I wasn't that excited about or didn't really care about, certain tax laws, whatever it is. I don't really care. And that can go on for tens of pages. So you slog a little bit. But I'm almost done with it now. But I don't know. Unless you are you obsess over Obama. You really idolize him.
That's funny.
Then I don't know that I would recommend it, to be honest with you.
Cool.
So that's the one. But next book I have, I'll let people know too.
Dude, awesome. One fact for us before we take it out here. I don't know if you knew this. You might know this. But I learned this for the first time, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Apparently, Trump was the first president not to have a dog in the White House.
That's ever?
I think ever.
Interesting.
Maybe that's like based on maybe since they've been recording it or something. But isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. And another interesting fact. I'm glad you brought that up because we need to talk about animals on every episode.
Somebody messaged us that talk about animals.
Do you know who gave Obama Bo, their Portuguese water dog?
Can I try to guess?
You probably won't be able to. It's not that obvious.
Fucking Rahm Emanuel? I don't know.
That's not a bad guess.
Who?
Ted Kennedy actually.
Oh, wow.
As
you
a
know
gift.
what? That makes sense. And they must have been tight because Ted Kennedy was supposed to give the commencement speech at my dad's school, and he got sick with his like brain situation, sadly, and Obama filled in for him.
No way.
Yeah.
That's interesting. They were very good friends in the Senate.
So that makes sense.
They were very good friends in the Senate. And of course, a big reason that Obama was so passionate about healthcare was because that was Ted Kennedy's lifelong mission was to find better healthcare for America. So anyway,
very interesting.
That's and now Biden is bringing 2 German Shepherds into the White House. So there'll be dogs there again. That's Oops the Podcast. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. Send us any of the thoughts or responses that we asked about to oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please
follow our Instagram. He is not Julio with a J on Instagram. Check out Pack Lightly.
Pack Light coming soon. I'll get you an exact date on that soon.
Yep.
But it's gonna happen soon, so I'm excited.
And that's the whole story. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for watching that video. If you liked it, there are plenty more where that came from. Click on this link, and also please like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Oops.